student whose parent is making them go compared to a student who, wants to do it on their own.
Right. In tutoring, you probably get 80% is driven by the parents because they're the client. They're the ones who paid. Right. Whereas someone who's enrolled in an English school, most of them have some sort of dream.
That's a good point. Right. They're doing this to achieve that dream.
Now, there are parents who push their kids and, perhaps the kid, I've had this happen with, in some of my privates with students, that the parent has pushed the kid in school. I'm thinking about a French kid. The way they teach English in French schools is super boring, and, teacher at the end of the class talking to rows of students. Then they force the kid to go to a language school, perhaps over in the United States, perhaps a language school after school, and during summertime, and why aren't you learning this? And the kid is getting really fed up.
Right.
And just thinking, I have no way at all of really learning this language. I can't get the accent, and I'm, I don't know. People tell me I don't, my grammar's terrible, and my spelling is terrible, because they focus a lot on writing. And, people it could be the guy's dyslexic, or he has some sort of different way of learning. And when I get a hold of him, I'm sitting him down and saying, what music do you like? And what websites do you like? This guy introduced me to 3 Trees. I think that's what it was called. 3 Trees. Now, I had just recently been introduced to South Park. And I think one of the main features of South Park is Kenny gets killed in every episode.
Right, yes, I do know those episodes well.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny. They always say that, right? So I was pretty prepared for what I saw, but not really. I wish I knew the exact name, because
I've never heard of that one.
It's French. See?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
See, this is where I started getting the idea that I needed to ask my students, what are the cool websites that you hang out with? And I think it's called 3trees.com.
Okay.
And notice that it's a French site, but they use English because they want it to look sophisticated. And, I think I've got the name wrong, but it's something like that.
Right.
And it's
similar to your idea about, the funny card.
Oh, by the way, on that funny card, that's your first collection of 3 cards. Anytime.
So you can collect them because it's a good way to show students, this is funny in America, or, do you understand why this is funny?
Or you just leave it on the table. You don't even tell them what it is.
And just see what their reaction to it is?
Yeah, some people will say, oh, you dropped your cards. Or others will start flipping through them. Same thing with magazines. You bring, all sorts of different magazines to class, and you leave them around. And what you can do is you can notice which people are timid and ask for permission before they pick it up. Then there's other learners who, if it's on the table, they're reaching for it. It's all psychology, right?
Right. And to see, that's a different type of learner. Maybe they're, right. That's interesting. And is it also to see, a comprehension check, see if they're understanding what they're reading, or it's more just let's see what happens?
Both. You're absolutely right. Your first inclination is actually the logical first thing you should do. You're absolutely right. You present it as a warm-up. You say, hey guys, I don't know if you've ever seen some funny pictures. Oh no, here's a mixture. Which one of these is funny?
Right.
So, you do some sort of pair work. The big key is to turn every possibility into something like pair work. So you're even creating puzzles, stuff like to warm up, I want everybody to find partner and look at 3 cards and tell each other about the cards. And then once I'm going to come around and I'm going to listen to what you say, and then you're going to tell, each of you is going to take half the cards and go talk to another person. And so it's something called, they have a special name for this, when sometimes they call it scaffolding because you're like building up through the class, or it's grouping. You have all the pairs after they've talked for about 2 minutes. Now find another pair, so now you have a group of 4, and everybody compares what they, what did you talk about? And then it's reported speech. He said that, he went, right? So he say he go yesterday, and you're listening for that error. He say he go yesterday to the beach, right? So what we're trying to do is turn as much as possible into them talking. So
an opportunity to learn something from someone else, figure things out, and they're real life examples, like their magazines, their cards, something.
Right.
It's not with it's something that they're going to come across when they get to America. They're going to see this. They're going to know why it's funny.
And you're going to then say, print out a website. Go to psychologytoday.com and print out an interesting page.
Right.